Insecurity cases in Nairobi have become something common following the increased number of reported cases on robbery and violence over the last month. Mugging and snatching of personal property such as phones, purses, as well as receiving harmful threats are what is being reported. According to a recent observation and also based on the high number of crime rates, some areas in Nairobi have been highlighted being at the lead that need serious security attention. Concerns have been raised on the safety of residents, pedestrians, and road users who access these areas, and with an aim to seek action to the gang and those involved in such crime. Most of these cases involve boda riders who take advantage of their sufficient, convenient, and fast means to snatch phones from pedestrians on footpaths. Recent news in mainstream media and social media have also brought about this alarming issue, which has become a threat to many Kenyans. During an interview with Bernard Mutua, security officer at KCA University, I sought to find out how the institution is ensuring safety of students while in school.
The institution itself has its internal security arrangement. However, our students are part of the external society. It is not easy for university security to follow the students as they leave campus. What we have done as a university is to partner with the government security agents. When the incident skyrocketed, first and foremost our student leaders and the Dean of Student Office visited the OCS at the Muthaiga Police Station, where they first of all explained that was the initial step, and the OCS took note of the same. Within a span of 3 days, the VC summoned the OCS, OCPD, and the DCI within Stale sub-county, who came to VC's office, and the same discussion continued on the measures that need to be taken for mugging incidents and the motorbike. Bag snatchers and phone snatchers between the survey stage to WhatsApps and the other side of the stage. Deployment was initiated. There was additional government security agents around the stage and general patrol all the way from Tali to WhatsApps and within the environment, even within Madala, Area 4, and the small path connecting the highway and Madala North Estate. As we are speaking now, security is still intact. The enforcement that was deployed since then is there. From my own assessment, the complaints and the incidents have reduced drastically.
For external measures, the institution collaborates with government security agents who patrol within these areas, where they put both uniformed and ununiformed police officers.
It's a blended team. Number one, we have uniformed. Uniformed act as deterrents, because when the criminals see the uniform, they will scare away and go to commit the offenses where there is no security presence. For those who can easily detect and arrest, we have a mix of plain clothes, non-uniformed, but armed, who can now react because they camouflage themselves as students. When the muggers strike, they can deal with them.
The neighboring community at KCA University posed a threat to the institution due to the high number of crime rates. Some of these areas include Mathare North, Survey, and Allsops.
Basically, even when the incidents escalated, if you follow the media reports and the chats on your groups, the crime was not confined to within the university. The students complained of a high rate of crime within the neighborhood of the KC University.
For students at KCA University, most access these routes from home to school and vice versa. Concerns were raised on the safety of students and neighboring community. Security is also maintained in school internally.
Internally, we have our usual security arrangement. We have 3 layers. We have the internal security officers who are domiciled in this office. The internal security officers are reinforced by Brings security guards. Then the outer layer we are reinforced by armed police officers. You normally see 2 police officers within the premises. The strength of security within an organization like this, we have reinforced our access controls. The other thing that ensures that we have security control is to minimize access and granting access to unauthorized persons. Because you find at the main gate, we have access for our students. There are terms and conditions for you to be granted access as a student in KCA. For our contractors, you have to surrender your national ID at the main gate and you log in. There's a list for all. Like now you see there's a lot of construction works. All those contractors leave their IDs at the main gate and they are recorded. For the vehicles, the car passes. The moment a vehicle accesses the premises, it is tagged. Recorded the vehicle registration number that has been issued with that. When your vehicle is leaving, you must surrender the same car pass that was issued during access. So, for somebody to think of coming and pick a vehicle, it becomes a challenge because at the main gate you have to be stopped and be requested to surrender the car pass. In terms of other security controls, we have the motion detector alarm, whereby, let's say at night, as much as we have guns at the police and the dog patrols, we have sensor motions in detectors in our key installations, like the library, computer labs, the server rooms, whereby the moment you access, the sounder activates and they alert the security personnel, the compound, that there is something happening in a particular room, and then they respond to it. For our students, what controls the student is the code of conduct. You know, when you are admitted here, you sign a code of conduct. And if you do contrary to any of the same, you are subjected to disciplinary. Thus, to eliminate insecurity arising internally from our students. For external, we have reinforced our perimeter wall, and also we are installing a CCTV system around. I think the security within the campus is intact. But however, the area of improvement in security for our students, it is when we are sure our students are safe, the moment they leave the KCA main gate at the stage up to their destination until they leave their hostels, we need to have collaboration to follow up to ensure that our security is good as security of the neighborhood. We can't bury our hands on the sand, ignoring what is happening outside the university. Our students don't reside in campus. They are part of the external society. So we have also to engage the neighborhood to ensure that even the estate around us has a reasonable security, because it is where our students reside also. It's our concern. For internally, what I need to enforce is that initially the guns in the compound we used to communicate using mobile phones, but the information you couldn't move in real time because maybe a guard witnesses an incident, the phone has no airtime. But now you can see we have a communication system. They have the walkie-talkies. So when I'm here, a guard has an issue as witness, he can communicate in real time for the enforcement, and the issue is attended to. And the communication between the security team and the campus is very, very in order.
The security officer also has an incident report file where students report concern about a security or in case of being a victim. During this period, no case was reported.
Last 2 weeks of November, there was that media article about crime around the case. My preliminary observation was that, universities are establishments that each university wants to prosper. And I think the strength KCA has made is being envied by our competitors. So every incident was something to tarnish the name of KCA, because personally, I have an incident file here where students report, should you have any security, should you be a victim of any crime. I have an incident report from me. For that period, I have no incident. I personally moved here to Madaiga police station. I had dialogue with the OCS. There was no incident reported at Madaiga. I went to Lualaka here at Osops. There was no incident. That was one aspect. Competition amongst maybe, let's say, amongst universities. Our competitors were part. The cartel circulating chess information, because everything was attributed to a KCA student. And one incident I followed up was for the photo on the media of that little who and many cuts on the face. And the OCS told me it was related to domestic violence back in 2017. It was not related to a student at all. Then another aspect I found about it in my own observation, from discussion from our students, there was also contribution from our own students. There was a clique of our students who preferred to do the exams online. They wanted to use the excuse of insecurity around the university to demand this semester's exams be administered online. That was another aspect I saw when I tried to follow the matter. From my preliminary observation, those are the two key things that played part. One, the aspect of competitors, and the two, our own students who are not ready to do basic exams wanted to capitalize on the wave of insecurity within Nairobi, they related to KCA, so that in exchange, they requested now the management to administer exams online. And I think it didn't work. But it is not to say that there was no insecurity. Insecurity, there is no 100% security in Nairobi, in my neighborhood. There are isolated cases of insecurity, but it was not to the magnitude to which it was being circulated in the media. But the fact is, there was insecurity, but not to that extent. And all the insecurity incidents in the media should not have been attributed to KCA students or KCA environment. Because in security, there is a crime mapping. The government security agency normally do crime mapping, especially like you approach towards Christmas. They need to know where to deploy more security, where to deploy less. I think when they released the crime mapping report, the idea is that they need more attention in regards of insecurity. That is how the stress between KCA and those came about. Unaweza pata incident of immorality huko operator. Unaona? Unaangalia area around the main gate mpaka highway. Hapo unaweza kutana na murders. Unaona? Tunakuja tunaenda kama computer lab. Unaweza pata computer imebomolewa, mtu ametoa memory, ametoa, you see. So we need, when you are securing in an establishment, you need to know the hot spots of crime in the kwa ile compound. You map out the more safer areas. Even the way, even that is how you see security is across the board. You strategize depending on the risk. Unaangalia the very risky areas. When you are deploying now the manpower, you concentrate more. Today, so like now you see in case we deployed more manpower at the main gate because of the access right. Mtu anaweza kuja ajipange hivi penye na so those are that is what now the police have done. Walikuwa wamefanya crime mapping ya Nairobi, wakataja KCA, Tuosops, Gara, hiyo Grogon, sijui wapi. So I don't know how it ended up ikawa na KCA. Yeah. Ndio umesikia nikikwambia actually crimes happen, but they are normal. It is not the extent that like it appeared in the media at that time. Yeah.
In a nutshell, there was just insecurity, but it's just that you acted.
It was not reacted, and it was not limited to KCA. Yeah. You could hear stories of Umoja, Mombasa Road. You see, there's that guy who was stabbed it was at Lavington. Why that didn't appear so much in the media like the way KCA featured? Did not death around. You see, that is why I'm telling you there was some motive about KCA at that time. Reports that I have are like internally. Niliweka simu nikichanji, nikaenda stage, nikarudi sikuipata. We were in the cafeteria. You see, those incidents to internal issues. For previously, right now is when our former CCTV system is obsolete. Now we are replacing. There's a company in the ground doing flash installation. But the advantage with in fact, tracking a phone is easier than a laptop. Because a mobile phone, the moment we link you to the government security agents, we link you to the police and the police station. Then that is where you report, you give the phone number, then the book, they use your OB number to go to Safaricom, they get the call log directed to your phone. That is the way they everything. But now that we are installing the CCTV system, we will manage at least to reconstruct the events that preceded the death of your phone. Yeah. Because the good advantage with the CCTV, if we are dead here, you can see this phone here, we can see your phone here. And the moment this phone disappears, the CCTV will show you who said they moved to whose phone. That is the good thing with the CCTV. Yeah.
So that is one measure
that is what we are putting in place. Internal, we can manage it, internal, we can reconstruct. If you are 4 students and one of you loses a phone or a laptop, we go and replay the CCTV clip. We see the sitting arrangement, we see your movements, then we get the culprit. It's very easy. Yeah. The other advantage of the CCTV, CCTV is not corruptible. But you can have a guard and maybe gives a testimony that he saw this thing happen. The next day he or she is induced, he changes the story that it didn't happen. You see, but with the CCTV, what is captured is captured. Yeah, and you can't contradict it. Another advantage, currently the criminal justice system, you know, the reviewed and the miscibility of evidence. Currently, if you capture evidence even with your phone, that evidence is acceptable. It's admissible in court. So if we are captured by our CCTV student and we take you to court, the CCTV footage from KCA will be admissible in court. That is what is making the urges throughout the system. Security should not be left to security agents, the guardians of the security officer. As the former president used to say, security begins with you. Okay? If each and everyone participates in security, you need to know what did you carry from home. You carried a laptop, you carried your phone, you carried some cash. If each and every person in this company, maybe staff, maybe a student, you can manage the security of your personal variables, then security of KCA will be 90% done. Because most of security incidents booked here are in relation to personal variables. Okay? So we need to encourage our students to be mindful, to have some security awareness when in the campus. We need sensitization on security amongst, especially amongst the students.
When addressing this issue of insecurity, it not only affects students internally but also externally.
Some may talk. We can't handle security of the university without collaborating with the government security agency. As I'm seated here, I can call the OCS Muthaiga right away. The DCI officer assigned at right away. I can call anybody dealing with the security around should we have an emergency or an incident that requires them. That is how our security system is supported. We work in collaboration with the government security agents.